my grandmother. Before even attending to me, I got a thorough beating. I was like, what were you doing? Why couldn't you just go to the shop, buy whatever you're buying, and then come back home? So at that point, there is no near hospital. We had to look for like a nurse nearby in the village. Then the nurse came. He was like, this needs to go to theater. At this point, I have lost too much blood. I'm in too much pain. I have been beaten for, being the naughty child I was. So I had to be taken to hospital, which was like about 40 kilometers away from our homestead. And by the time we would even get a car to take us to hospital, at this time it's almost midnight. I don't know how my mom got to know the news that I was hurt. So she came the following day, very early in the morning. Well, I have very little memories about my mom. All I remember the first time I interacted with her is I woke up from theater where I was in hospital. I woke up. The first person, of course, I was looking for was my grandmother, but I found a very cute thermos, a purple in color, which I kept till high school. I found it very cute, and it used to fit probably a cup of tea. So I was curious. There's a woman who used to take care of us in our homestead, like cleaning the house, washing clothes and everything. So I used to call her mom. So I asked her, Mom, who's brought for me this thermos and bread? She was like, your mom. I'm like, oh, my biological mom. So I was very excited, but I couldn't even talk. I couldn't even eat. So I was like, once I come out of hospital, she will be here. So we'll go home with her. And then they were like, yeah. They didn't want to give me a yes or no answer. Unfortunately, after that visit, she saw me after theater. I didn't see her, interact with her. She went. I never saw her again. So the second time I met her, I was in class 5. So my mom came on the 24th of Christmas. She came with a set of books and some pencils in a bag. So I remember me seeing her that evening. She came in the evening. We had an amazing dinner, interacted with her a little bit, but in the village you always sent good. I cooked for her porridge because she was pretty sick. So I took care of her that whole time. And remember, we're not talking. I'm not even saying hi to her. At this point, I am very bitter. Till now, I feel I would have done better, but life happens. So I took care of her, went back to school on second term, and then I was called from school and I was told my mom is looking for me. She's in hospital. And I told myself, I'm myself. I want to cook for my family. So I was like, no, Shusho, I don't want to do catering. So she talks to her children. She's like, you guys were given the responsibility of taking care of this child by your father, who is now my grandfather. And he said that till she finishes college, that's the time you'll be done. So this is a responsibility that you have to fulfill. So my aunt is like, if I'm going to pay your school fees, I would rather take you to a good college. So my auntie went ahead. The owner of Urembo used to own Pivot Point International. So she spoke to her and she told her, I have a niece who I want to bring. And that's how I got to Pivot Point. It used to be at Ronald House. Is it 4th floor or 2nd floor? It was an amazing school. So now I'm done with school. What next? Do I take that knowledge to the village? I'm like, I'm not going back to the village. But my auntie, I think she had the idea of, I've given you what you wanted. What next can I offer? So my friend took me in and she took me to her friend's house in Kangemi. So we lived in Kangemi, 3 women. I remember we used to live in a 1 room and on a bed 3x6. So the bathroom was outside and the kitchen and everything was in 1 room. So I remember I used to tarmac from Kangemi to Westlands. Then I will take a mat from Westlands to Hurlingham. I'll go for the attachments. So the person who had opened this spa, I think she also did it for fun. So some days she will open, some days she will not open. So I told my friend, you know what? I think I'm going to quit this industry, but I'm not going to go back to Meru. So my friend asked me, so Moureen, what do you want to do? I told her, imagine get me any job. This, where I was doing my attachment, I can't. You're going for an attachment, you're supposed to be going every day, but the woman opens 2 or 3 times a week. What are you supposed to do the other days? And she doesn't tell you she's not going to open. So you'll wake up, tarmac from Kangemi to Westlands, find your way to Hurlingham, only to find the doors are closed. So I told her, she's called Jane. I told her, Jane, I can't do this. I imagine I'll leave and take a house girl job. Our son, by the time I was leaving Carol, she was expecting a 2nd child. I mean, her son, when she was joining school, he was joining school, we took the son to school together. So I was like, now, you're expanding your family. Why did I leave my career 3 years ago? So I'm like, now, I think I can start doing something. Carol even took me for driving school because now her son has become big, her house girl, she's stable. The son is like 2 years. What am I doing? So I went back to job hunting. So I told Carol, where you go to your salons, you ask them if they want a shampoo girl, someone to clean, so that I get back into the industry. She was like, I don't think, after all you've done beauty, I don't think you need to start very low, you need to start somewhere. And I'm like, I've stayed off the industry for 3 years. I need to go back. I had a very good relationship with my teachers. Very good. So I remember Teacher Mary, I had a number. I called Teacher Mary, I've really tarmacked. To some point I've been a house girl, so I've tarmacked. Where do we start? So Teacher Mary got me an attachment. Where did she get me an attachment? In Hurlingham again, but not in the same place, in Hurlingham. Very good place. So while I was there, Teacher Mary asked me, I did the attachment for about, 6 weeks? So Teacher Mary calls me and tells me, do you think you can join the industry? I'm like, anytime. I've done the attachment. I'm still doing the attachment. So anytime. So she tells me, can you go for an interview? I'm like, where? She tells me Farouk's. I'm like, what? You know, Farouk is the first person who did Hillary Clinton's hair. when she landed in Kenya. So it's like, this is a big industry. Caroline Motuko used to go to Farouk's. Sheila Mwaniga used to go to Farouk. So I've been told to go for an interview there. I'm like, God, that is the hair industry. I have not done hair, but I will go anyway. I remember I was wearing a green t-shirt and a khaki pants and rubbers. I'm like, do I even look the part of going for an interview? So I told myself, you know what? Let me go. If I'm rejected, I'll keep on trying. Rejected, keep on trying. So I went. First appearance is very important. So I used to take care of my skin as like I was taught in school. So I go to Farouk's. So I tell Farouk's, I'm here for an interview. He was like, what for? I'm like, I'm a beautician, so I'm looking for a job. What can you do? I'm like, I can do waxing, a mini facial, I can do manicure, pedicure, the basic ones. He was like, when can you start? I'm like, what do you mean? That was the interview. I was interviewed by Farouk. I was like, I can start tomorrow. This other side, I've not resigned my attachment. I'm like, after all, it was just an attachment. So I will go back, ask Farouk, I can start tomorrow, but will you allow me to come like at 10? It's like, yeah. Actually, we don't open very early, come at 10. So at that point, I am shaking. I can't believe I've gotten a job at Farouk's. Why did I get the job at Farouk's? Not having done any interview. Appearance. How you look, how you present yourself. Remember, I was wearing a t-shirt, a green t-shirt and a black trouser. So later on, I asked Farouk, you didn't do for me interview? How come I got a job? And he was very honest with him. He told me, your beauty fits being in the beauty industry. So how you look will determine. You can't be telling people you do nails and your nails don't look the part. You can't be telling people you do hair and your hair doesn't look the part. You can't be telling people you sell clothes and you don't look the part of selling clothes. So Farouk taught me, you need to sell yourself. So when I was working at Farouk's, it gave me a very big opportunity of growth. So at this point, Farouk had gotten another place to go and manage, and he wanted to tag me along. So I left Farouk's in Westlands, and we moved to town at Laiko Regency, former Grand Regency. So Farouk somehow mentored me, made me who I am. So while working there, the person who wanted Farouk to manage the place, I think they fell off. Then Farouk was like, do you want to come back? I was like, no, I want to keep growing. Because how do I come back to Farouk's? And here, he's given me an opportunity of more growth. So I was left at Laiko Regency. That was in 2009. So I worked there till 2021. And the lady or the person who used to own the place, they were okay. I left that place to open my own place because there was no growth. I was very passionate about skincare. And every time I will tell them, let's do this. There's this new product that has come into market and it's doing wonders. When you do facials with it, when you do nails with it, you can see the result. We need to keep up with the industry. People are doing facials and good facials out there. We can't be doing the basic facial where you scrub and then you let someone go. So she never saw my dream. And I took the leap of faith. And I told enjoy. So it's the same thing when you do a good service on skincare, you get to see someone as their skin has changed, whatever department, whether it's acne, whether it's pigmentation, whether it's they just have a nice skin but they want to maintain the nice skin, the transformation that comes with it. Yeah. What do I do to stay relevant? Awareness. Telling people the importance of, let's say, for example, a sunscreen. Telling people the importance of when you get home, remove your makeup. Telling people why you need to cleanse your face in the morning and in the evening. Telling people why is it important to drink enough water? Why is it important to just have a healthy meal? What impact does it have, or not only on your body, but also on your skin? The advice I'll give a young woman or even anyone wanting to venture into this industry is the industry is very large. So don't stop dreaming. Don't stop wanting to pursue your dream. There are challenges because you're always here asking yourself, so and so is also doing the same thing that I'm doing. Don't be scared. The market is big for everyone. So continue pursuing your dreams, continue being consistent, and one day the light will shine on you. You have to be consistent. You have to do this thing every single day or every week or every 3 weeks. Some fall off and they're like, I don't think I can keep up, but you have to keep on pushing. Consistency is the key. You have to keep on pushing. Some of the challenges is sometimes it takes a while for someone to see a result, but you keep encouraging them. You tell them skincare doesn't happen overnight. You will not come to me today with acne and tomorrow you want to be healed. No, it's a journey that we walk together, and us will give you 40%. You have to do the 60%. So some of the challenges are you have to insist on someone doing the 60%, because as much as you're going to do the 40%, she or he has to do the part, and if they don't do the part, they will not see any result. So it's a journey that we walk together. What I wish I was told is you can't do everything by yourself. No, you can't. You need help. And by asking for help doesn't mean you failed. No, it doesn't mean you can't do it. You can do it, but you need someone to lift your hand. I wish I was told asking for help doesn't mean you're a failure. No, it just means you just need to be uplifted from point A to point B. Once you get to point B, you push yourself to point C. Some of the lessons: to be very patient, that one, in everything, whether it's in business or into skincare, whatever it is, you have to be very patient. Some other lessons that I've learned is whatever we see or we read on the books. I mean, you get into business and then you're told within 6 months, you start seeing the fruits. Sometimes whatever you read on the books, and what you learn on the ground, it's totally different. For you to see fruits for your business, you have to be very patient. Give it a year, 2, 3 years for you to start seeing any result, but you have to be very patient.